Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Wellness Through Health and Wealth. And I'd like to introduce Leith Adams, the CEO and founder of Jolt Business Centre. We'll be talking about his story today. How are you, Leith?
G'day, Nicola. Yeah, I'm fantastic, thanks.
Now, I wanted to check with you. We're going to have a talk today. I want to hear all about who is Leith Adams and how did you come about to be the founder and CEO of Jolt Business Centre. We're going to be doing a series of this interview series looking at all things wellness and how to achieve wellness through health and wealth. So the first thing I wanted to check, who is Leith Adams?
That's a really good question. Who is Leith Adams? Well, I guess it depends how far you want me to go back, but I'm in my late 50s and I'm a father of three great adult children. I've got six grandkids. A lot of people will reckon I don't look old enough to be a grandfather, but I am. I've got six grandkids. In fact, if I had to realise how good it was to be a grandfather, how much fun it was, I would have done that first. But anyway, but I grew up on a farm in regional South Australia, and I guess I was destined to be a fourth generation farmer. Look, nowadays I guess I've basically been working for myself for the last 40 years. Pretty much been self-employed all my working life. And through that, I've had some amazing success, and I've also had some absolute disasters. And I guess one of the things you do learn through your disasters is how not to do it. Ask me how I know. And sometimes people can look at you and go, well, what the heck would you know? All these things have gone wrong. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, But through the process of that too, there's a lot of people who come to me and said, Leith, obviously you know how not to do it. Can you give us a hand? And that's really what's happened here is that I'm at a point now where I've had a lot of people actually ask me to give them a hand, and I guess I now want to share what I know with the wider world through Jolt.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Jolt, the business centre, has been the culmination of your 40 years of being self-employed, because you have seen all the joys and the dramas that come with it. And now with online business being such a huge pivot in the way people are able to run their businesses, being able to do this from home, and with coronavirus, having people working from home more often, and also just people changing, as you've said to me before, from bricks and mortar to clicks and order, it tends to be the new way for people to make a living and have security over their own futures. So tell me, you've been employed, as you say, self-employed for a while, and you also were the author of a best-selling Amazon book. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, well, that was very much a surprise, I suppose, when I became a best-selling author. I guess I was probably the one that was most surprised, because a real good friend of mine encouraged me to write my story, and I just said, oh, mate, who's ever going to read that, And anyway, I actually put a line across the page one day and sat down, and it actually took me 9 months to write that book, and then I listed it and had it published and all the rest of it, put it up on Amazon, and much to my surprise, it became a bestseller. And then what actually happened then, Nicola, was that I was actually asked to speak, at social clubs, as in Lions and Rotary and that sort of stuff, and it just went from there. And also spoke at several men's business breakfasts. And what actually happened was that I had a young fella ask me, to give him a hand, after I spoke, and that sort of started. I then become a coach. I become a life coach. I'm actually a certified life coach with Mars Venus, which is an American organisation. A lot of you would have heard of the book called Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus. And I found a lot of people know about the book, but they never read it. It's what's between the pages, is between the back cover and the front cover that matters, not so much the cover. And I started realising that a lot of people in business nowadays, they've got relationship issues, and not only, especially if they're working together as a couple, but also how to relate to people in the community. It's all, any interaction that you have in the community, you know, whether or not you're selling coffee or you're selling cars or mowing a bloke's lawn. Every interaction is an interaction with another human being, and basically I basically set me on a journey, I suppose, to try and address some of that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's you when you're seeing people, especially couples working together, they're doing long hours if they own a shop or they own a business together, and it's that relationship that can really be tarnished, or one or other is working ridiculous hours. 80 hours a week and not seeing their kids, not seeing their family, which is, the main premise behind your book as well, the Father Project, when in regards to, making sure that you're there. And this is where business and what business you do and how you interact with your customers really does become the main point. Because if you're not being authentic to yourself and you're not providing, if you don't love what you do, then you'll consistently hate your business and hate your work. So it's about finding something which drives passion in you, which is where you came with the Jolt Business Centre, because you realised that you just couldn't handle seeing these small business owners struggle with inconsistent work, or those that are working 9 to 5 and just not happy, and you knew that there was another way. So the Jolt Business Centre was a way to provide support to those people who want to get into the online business world but didn't know where to start. Was that right?
Yeah, 100%. You know, like I guess I've seen lots of guys myself, guys and girls, and even myself. There's no point being the richest bloke in the cemetery. Working yourself to death, and there's more to life than just work, work, work. And we've all heard that old story. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and that's certainly it's certainly true. So basically, look, I had to realise myself that just working all the time wasn't really fulfilling, and it's not just about the money; it's about lifestyle. So, what you just said there before about having passion, if you're working flat out all the time, you do lose the edge. And not only that, and I said this to my kids as they were growing up, if you wake up in the morning, you think to yourself, "Oh, cripes, don't tell me I've got to do this again." You either got to change how you're doing it or what you're doing. Because you've got to have a passion. If you're working a job or working in a business, and I guess that's what we're talking about today, working in the business, if you haven't got a passion for what you're doing, or you've lost the passion for it, you won't make the money you really should be making. You're not going to get the results that you really want.
No, that's exactly right, because people can say, oh, well, look, that's easier said than done, but I can't give it all up if I've got a job and security. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, as you say, it's your life you're running. You're the only one that can make those decisions. And if you're willing to put the effort in and research and find something that you're passionate about, that passion will always show through, and you'll always be able to find the right people to join you on that journey. And that's where the Jolt Business Centre provides that support for those that are coming to something there. They want to work from home. They want to have their own business. They want to help people, and they want to provide a solution to a really, relevant problem. And that's where I think online working from home provides that. Those that have kids, those that want to side hustle, those that just want to throw themselves into the online world of business. But there's a lot of people that are really confused about how to start that. They don't know the tech background. They don't know how to do ClickFunnels. They don't know how to do sales. They don't know how to do any of that stuff, but they know they want to work for themselves. So this is where you've come up with the Jolt Business Centre as a way to support those people, as a way to provide something where they can be with other like-minded online business people, and sort of like earn while they learn, because that will provide sustainable business model for them. So in regards to the wellness section of what we're talking about in our wellness through health and wealth, let me know about your journey when it comes to health and working on health and business together. How did you get yourself into that sort of space?
Well, I guess just to reiterate what you just said then before about doing things online and building a business online. I mean, primarily the reason I put Jolt together was to take all the guesswork out for people. Because I mean, I'd spent years and years and years. I've tried a lot of stuff online trying to find something that would work. Various things did work, and other things didn't. So what I've done is I've picked that piece out, and I put that bit, and I put the whole thing together in all the bits of the jigsaw puzzle together to create Jolt. So to answer your question about my health side of it, Look, in my early 30s, I was actually electrocuted. Darn near killed me. I was laid flat out on my back and ended up in hospital. And actually, I had 15 months off work, and 3 young kids at the time. Now, if you are self-employed, you don't get to go to work. The buck stops here. So based upon that experience, I knew then that that you were vulnerable by being self-employed. I had a certain amount of sick pay, not sick pay. What do you call it? When you're employed, you have sickness and accident sort of stuff. I had a certain amount of that, but that didn't go for 15 months, I can assure you.
Yeah.
But even when I got back on my feet, I found that I couldn't physically work the way I was after being electrocuted. In fact, what actually happened was I ended up being diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it, that it's such a huge life changer. And that's when we talk about those pivots, when life throws you something that, you've either got to step up to it or it's going to consume you. And you decided there and then with young kids that you were going to not let it get you. And you were going to find a way out of that, which you did. And that's why I think it's so imperative that we get the message out to people that there's always a way out, and it's about trying to find the best way for you and making sure your health is a priority as a business owner, because it's not just you that you're looking out for, it's your family, your friends. You've got to make sure that, you're doing the right things by everyone, but also, you can't be a good business owner if you're not looking after your health.
Oh, exactly. As I said earlier, there's no point being the richest bloke in the cemetery. And some blokes, they do end up working themselves to death, or you tend to work yourself to the point where you're to the detriment of your health, only to spend the wealth that you've earned to repair your health. So it's about getting a balance right there. And look, it's not easy. I admit that it's not easy, but there is a formula to it. And sometimes, unfortunately, we don't actually even look for the remedy until we've had a severe smack up the side of the face, like an aha moment, going, "Oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do now?" And sometimes a wake up call is not very nice at the time, but sometimes it's a life changer, and it can change the direction of your life for sure. But that primarily was the direction you were supposed to be going all along, but you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because you will find that majority of people will wait for that event to happen before changing. For some, it'll be okay, like yourself, you're able to find that direction and then move forward and make it a passion of yours to help other people. And some, it's too late. So that's why I think the benefit of your working through that is, and then becoming life coach and helping other men and other families deal with that before it gets to that stage is very important. And that drives your passion in the Jolt Business Centre in regards to those that are not happy with the direction their life's going and are looking for more. And especially those that are looking for, making sure that their health and wellness is a major part of their life, and bringing that to other people. So I think that is something that's imperative, especially for guys, because, it tends to be the work until you drop mentality for a lot of people. And I know that they'll say, well, I can't stop that. That's just the way it is. But you're the only one in control of your direction and your life. So you're not out of control. It just takes making the right decisions and sticking with it. Like you said, it's not easy, but nothing good is easy. So it's about trying to make sure that you've got the right direction for your family, because they need you in the long run. And you've done all that hard work, and, and being able to share that with people, I think, is imperative. So, so basically we've worked hard, 40 years self-employed. We've written a book helping guys work through work, family, health, wealth. You've come out of it with a passion, and passion has turned into the Jolt Business Centre. So if people want to know more about the Jolt Business Centre and how it can help them with creating their own online work from home business, men, women, anyone, side hustle, it's just people who want to take control of their own direction and make sure that they've got their own income and they're not waiting on someone else. We're going to put a link in the bio for more people to find more. And we're going to be running a series of these interviews talking about different aspects of wellness through health and wealth, and how they can all work together, because you can't have one without the other. Otherwise, one of those, like you say, you can have your health and no wealth, or you can have the other way around, and we don't want that. We don't want anything. We want them all together. We want health and wealth so that we can have a happy life. So any last thoughts before we end this one that we can share with people?
Well, I guess one of the most profound questions that was asked to me several years ago, when I was on my journey looking for, how do I get myself back on my feet. And a guy said to me one day, because I said, look, I've got no time and I've got no money. He said to me, so how'd you like to fix that? I had nowhere to go. So I guess if there's anyone looking at this podcast with that same question, I've got no time, no money, how'd you like to fix that? That's what Jolt's all about.
Yeah, that's it. And you've got that support behind you. And I think that's one of the main benefits when starting an online business, is having the support from someone who's been there and done that, and willing to provide you with the framework already set up, done for you, automated, something that you can really get stuck into straight away, and start making a difference without having all the ups and downs that you can have when you start your own. So I think that's a great way forward for a lot of people, especially in this day and age. Well, Leith, it's been wonderful to talk to you, and can't wait for our next series, which will launch next week. We'll keep a surprise so people know what they can look forward to seeing what we talk about. If anyone wants to know anything else, you can find the Jolt Business Centre on all the socials, and I'll put a link below so you can find more about it online. And we'll talk to you next week about all things wellness through health and wealth. Yeah, health and wealth. Okay, I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Nicola. Catch you later on. Bye-bye.
Bye.